All right, welcome back. We were just talking about that piece in the New Yorker written by Jane Meyer, who says several people close to Democratic California Senator Dianne Feinstein, they say the former chair of the Senate Intel Committee, her cognitive decline has apparently been evident for several years. They claim the 87-year-old has been seriously struggling and that her short-term memory has been affected. We saw some of this play out in committee hearings. And let's talk more about this and welcome in senior policy analyst at the Independent Women's Forum, Patrice Leon-Wuka. She's also a Newsmax columnist. And back with us again, nationally syndicated radio talk show host Tony Katz. Tony, thanks for sticking around. Patrice, great to see you as always.
Good to see you too.
You know, a lot of people have raised this before, that Dianne Feinstein maybe had lost a step. We had this issue with her and her Chinese spy chauffeur. Somehow that happened too. But if I were to bring this up, Patrice, if you were to bring this up, you were ageist and, you know, misogynistic, if I was to bring it up for saying that Dianne Feinstein maybe should dial it back a little bit. But if you report it in the New Yorker, apparently it's okay.
Well, I mean, this is where we're at post the election, by the way, which now all of a sudden these things are coming out in the New Yorker, for example. I just saw Daily Mail is reporting that Chuck Schumer had a painful conversation with her about her cognitive decline. So, you know, of course, they're waiting until after the election, didn't want to rock the boat too much. But I mean, it says something about how long senators and elected officials are serving and whether they're serving their time. I suspect, though, there are a lot of Democrats who would rather have someone who's much farther to the left take her spot in the Senate. So maybe that's part of the calculus here.
Well, I think that's the reason why this is coming out in the Atlantic, Patrice, because somebody on the far left wanted to get this story out there so they can, you know, throw Di-Fi from the train, put in somebody more progressive, less of a hawk, probably more of a thorn in the side of people who actually want to see a secure nation, Tony.
Well, that's a conversation of the ends justify the means, and I'm not interested in living that life, although it seems that there are a lot of people, like, for example, Speaker Pelosi. I won't engage coronavirus relief because it might give Donald Trump a victory that could help win an election. I'll wait till after the election. Meanwhile, we shut people down, we hurt them, and we give them no relief. We should be discussing whether or not we're allowed to speak out about people who are older and whether or not they can still handle the rigors of the job. And it's okay to say that you can't. They have to be told that, yes, by their party and yes, by the electorate. Why is California going about continuing to support Dianne Feinstein? Now, I have nothing against Dianne Feinstein. We disagree politically. I don't want to see her in cognitive decline. I want to see her healthy and well. But there is something to the security of a nation if you know somebody cannot handle it. This was the conversation many of us had about Joe Biden, and we weren't wrong to have that conversation about Joe Biden. The mispronunciations, the inability to get out the complete thought, the losing trains of thought. These are serious issues, not just political issues, issues that affect us all, regardless of whether we voted for Joe Biden or not, regardless of whether or not we're Californians and voted for Dianne Feinstein or not. If we can't have the conversations, you're talking about ageist, all these kinds of ists and isms and nonsense, well, then we've got a bigger problem. And I don't want any bigger problem for Dianne Feinstein, and I don't want any bigger problem for America.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.